Welcome back, wrestling WWE fans. Tonight, we are diving into one of the most shocking and emotionally charged nights in WWE history, a night where triumph turned into tragedy, loyalty turned into betrayal, and legends were brought to their knees. The energy in Paris was electric as John Cena stood face to face with Logan Paul, a clash of eras and styles that nobody could have predicted just a few years ago. Fans came expecting drama, but what they got was something far darker. The match itself was brutal, Cena fighting with the heart of a man who knows his career is nearing its twilight, while Logan Paul fought like someone desperate to prove he belongs among the greats. Every move carried weight, every slam echoed with meaning. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Alright, we're halfway through, and things are about to take a serious turn. If you thought you knew where this was going, think again, this is where the real drama unfolds. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. But what the fans couldn't see yet was the storm building behind the curtain. Whispers had already begun about tensions in the locker room, about unfinished business that stretched back over a decade. When Cena finally pulled himself up, exhausted, bruised, and still breathing heavy from the battle with Logan, the crowd gave him an ovation that felt like a farewell. It was respect, it was gratitude, it was love. And then the music hit. That familiar, earth-shaking sound that every WWE fan recognizes in their bones. Brock Lesnar had returned. The crowd's cheers turned into gasps, some even into silence. Paris didn't know whether to celebrate or to brace for chaos, but deep down, every fan knew Lesnar doesn't just return. He invades. Cena stood frozen, eyes locked with a man who had haunted him for years. These weren't just rivals. These were two men bound by blood, sweat, and scars etched into their very souls. The Beast didn't smile. He didn't taunt. He marched straight to the ring with that cold, empty stare that sends shivers down the spine. It wasn't an entrance. It was an execution walk. And then it happened. The attack was not just physical, it was symbolic. Lesnar didn't just strike Cena down, he dismantled him, piece by piece, in front of a stunned audience that couldn't process what they were witnessing. Backstage, officials were screaming into headsets, medical teams were preparing before Cena even hit the mat, and veterans in the locker room stared at the monitor in disbelief. For many, it wasn't a storyline, it was a heartbreak. Because everyone in that arena knew John Cena isn't just a wrestler. He is the face of loyalty, of family, of sacrifice. To see him brutalized in such a way felt like watching a piece of WWE itself crumble. Logan Paul, who moments earlier had been celebrating his own spotlight, stood in the corner looking shaken, not victorious. Even he seemed to realize that this night wasn't about him anymore. It was about something much bigger. Brock's attack didn't feel like revenge. It felt like grief disguised as violence, rage born out of years of silence, of being dismissed, of being forgotten. What we saw wasn't the Beast, it was a man tearing apart the only thing that reminded him of unfinished wars. And Cena, broken on the canvas, looked less like the hero of old and more like a father figure being betrayed by the cruel cycle of time and rivalry. It wasn't just his body that broke, it was the bond between two warriors who had defined an era together. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder. Was this planned? Was this real? Some claimed Lesnar had been bitter for years about Cena's return, about his place in the company, about the way the spotlight always seemed to shine brighter on the man in the neon green shirts. Others suggested something even darker, that Lesnar's personal struggles, his health, his battles with the weight of his own career, had driven him to lash out in a way that blurred the lines between entertainment and cruelty. What's undeniable is the toll this will take. Cena was rushed to medical care after the cameras cut, leaving fans in Paris with a haunting silence. The legend who had given everything looked fragile, mortal, and human in a way we rarely see. And Logan Paul, for once, didn't cut a promo or throw up his usual swagger. He walked away, head down, as if realizing he had been a side character in a much larger tragedy. The grief in the locker room was real. Younger stars spoke in hushed tones about the night they might have just seen John Cena's last stand. Veterans shook their heads, remembering their own wars with Lesnar and the scars they carried to this day. Betrayal, grief, scandal, family breakdowns, this wasn't just a storyline. This was real human emotion spilling into the ring, with consequences that will ripple far beyond Paris. And for Brock Lesnar, the question remains, what does he gain from this? Was it closure, or was it the beginning of an even darker chapter? Because the beast we saw tonight wasn't hunting championships. He was hunting legacies. For Cena, this could be the cruelest ending of all, not losing to Logan Paul, not failing the fans, but being broken by a man who knows him better than anyone. Betrayed not with words, but with violence. And for us, the fans, we are left wrestling with our own emotions. Do we condemn Lesnar as a monster? Or do we see him as a man unraveling before our very eyes, consumed by the same demons that haunt all of us in different ways? In the end, nights like this remind us that WWE is not just about titles or victories. It's about the fragile humanity of the men and women who step into that ring, knowing that every match could be their last, every rivalry could leave scars that never heal. So as we close, remember this night in Paris. Remember the roar of the crowd, the shock of Lesnar's return, the silence that fell as Cena was carried away. And remember that love, loss, loyalty, and legacy are not just themes of wrestling, they are themes of life. Because beyond the scripted moments, beyond the spectacle, what we saw was real. And sometimes, reality hurts more than any storyline ever